Okay, today we're going to do the GIMP Pop Art Faces. Within the assignment and Canvas, you have a link to examples of what we're creating. So here's an example of what Warhol did. This is a former student's. I created this one, this one, this one, and this is finally another Warhol. Back in the assignment, there's some additional information that I would like for you to pause this and read. But also, or when you're finished reading, here's the link to the assignment. That takes us here to our assignment. So first we're going to choose a photo. This is the look we're going to create with a photograph of your choice. You could use this as a self-portrait project or take a page out of Warhol's book and do a contemporary pop icon such as Justin Bieber. So this is what we're going to create. For the purposes of the assignment, the person who created the assignment selected the image of Andy Warhol with his dog. So first we need a picture, which I had and don't have anymore. So I found my image in Google Images. I'm going to right click and save image as, and you're going to save it to your desktop as name the picture whatever the image was a picture of. Remember where you have saved it, and then I can go back to the assignment. So it says bring the photo into GIMP, and it gives you directions. Open GIMP, File, New, under Template choose the US letter Portrait. Your final image may be a different size, but this is going to get us started. We're going to open as layers our image. Then scale the image so that it fits about 1/9 of the page. You will be making 3 rows of 3, so that make the picture approximately the correct size for doing that. So I'm going to go to GIMP, File, New, Template, US letter, OK. File, open as layers. I had to move it to the desktop, so now it's here on the desktop, like yours. And open. Okay. So now it's really big. And we want to, you'll also notice that now you have 2 layers. You have the background layer and your image layer. We want to scale, layer, scale layer. And we want to, it's approximately 9 by 7. So let's make it 6 by 5, click scale. Okay, I need to make it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to do layer, scale layer again, and this time I'm going to go down to 4. Okay, I believe that I can get 9 of them on there. So I picked up my move tool, and now I'm going to move this here. Then let's go to the directions. You're going to duplicate the layers. Click on the layer with your image on it. Press Ctrl-Shift-D, or you can right-click and duplicate. Duplicate it 8 times, and then move each layer to a different position to create 3 rows of 3. So my image layer is selected. Right-click, duplicate layer, and we can do that 8 times. Right click, duplicate layer. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we have 8 images. Now, we don't see them here because they're like a deck of cards. They're stacked. But if we start clicking and dragging, we see that they are duplicated. Now, my background is not the right size. I need to scale. I need to scale the back. Okay, I need to scale the background layer. So to do that, I'm going to make sure background is selected down here. I'm going to come up here and find canvas size, because we are dealing with the canvas. And I'm going to make that canvas size much bigger. Well, maybe not that much bigger. Okay, that should be good. Click resize, and I have enough room now to continue to work. So I'm still with my move tool. I've got my last 3 images to move. Weird. Okay, for some reason those are weird. Okay, but we can fix it. The next step in the assignment after duplicating the layers and moving them is to change the canvas size, which we did that as well. Finally, or not finally, but then we're going to crop the image. We're going to use the crop tool, which is circled in red. It's our scalpel, to draw a box around the part of the picture that we want to keep. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to pick up my scalpel. I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to drag this down a little bit and this over like this. So all of the places that were kind of weird for some reason where the image didn't fit quite right, that's been fixed. I'll hit enter on my keyboard and that crops the layer. Going back to the directions now. Number 6, use threshold. This will make your image black and white. So click on one of the layers, go to colors and threshold, move the little black arrow back and forth to get the best clarity of your image. Take note of what the numbers are under the arrows so that you can do the exactly the same amount of threshold for each layer. Click OK when you're satisfied. So we're going to come up here. I'm going to choose a layer. You'll know that it's chosen because it has the dotted lines around it. I'm going to go to colors, threshold, and it changes the image. I'm going to move this arrow back and forth until I'm happy. The problem with picking this particular image is there is a lot of contrast already. So I'm going to be happy with this, and I'm going to remember and maybe even write down that my numbers are on the left I have 154 and on the right I have 255. So I've written those down. And they're right there. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to move to another layer. I'm going to do the same thing. Colors, threshold. Now I can just type in my left number, 154, and the second number is 255, and that stays the same. Click OK. So these two images are exactly the same. So I'm going to move through all of my layers and do that to all of my layers. Okay, now that all of my layers are the same number of threshold and they're black and white images, I can go back to the directions and look at the next step. Color the black parts. So select by color, click on a black area. This will select everything black on that layer. Click on the foreground color and choose a bright color. Edit, fill with foreground color. This will turn everything that was black into your bright color. So select by color. Start with the very top one. Select by color. I'm going to click on the black area, and I get kind of marching ants, except they're much bigger than ants this time. I'm going to click on the foreground color. I'm going to choose a bright color. I already have some that I've used in the past. There are other ways that we can pick this, so I'm going to go with this bright green. I'm going to click OK and click, why didn't it change color? Hold on. Bright green here. Current. Okay. Click OK. Go back to the directions. Edit, fill with foreground color. So right click, edit, fill with foreground color. Then I can do select by color and click on the white part. And I can come back and select a different color. So green and yellow are fun. Click OK. Right click, edit, fill with that color. And that layer is finished. So I want to do that with all of my layers. But before I move on, I want to make sure I do select, none. And then I can change layers. So on the next layer, let's repeat the process one more time. Select by color on the black. Pick a color. Right click on the black, edit, fill with foreground color. Select by color on the white. Click on the color. Choose another color. Click OK. On the white, right click, edit, fill with foreground color. Select none. Move to your next layer. When you are finished doing that process, that same process with all 9 layers, you will right click, merge down, and then right click, merge down until you have one layer. Then file, export as a JPEG or PNG, and you should be finished.